What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for RuPaul's Drag Race, season 12 episode. What episode are we on? Episode 8. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. So we pick up where we left off last week with Britta gone, Jan crying. Now Jan ass is crying and crying and crying and crying, and she keeps telling everybody that she not crying over losing the challenge. She is crying because Britta is gone, and that is her best friend. And then she picks up that Britta shit, talking about, I'm just so upset that we are just letting everybody back home down. And you know, Jay said it best. We are all here to win. Like, and I really hope that the quote unquote disappointment, because I mean it is what it is to me, but of the New York queens, I hope that makes the producers open up the floor a little bit more, because you're just not gonna sit here and tell me that y'all don't have queens from other parts of the country. Like, I just that can compete. Like, I just, anyway, whatever. So the mini challenge is, you know, one of Rue's famous product placements. It's some sort of bosom box thingy where she paired up the girls, and they had to pack boxes full of more product placement and give each other the gifts, and, you know, of course, give some shady reason why they gave them the gifts. You know, she did the product placement of her suit, she did the product placement of the mini challenge, and all the things that went inside of it. So we had Heidi, no, I'm reading the wrong thing. Crystal and Jade, Widow and Sherry, Jackie and Gigi, Heidi and Jan. Jackie and Gigi won. It was cute. It was what it was. They got into their quick drag. I'm sorry, I should have told y'all this before I said who won. I was just reading my notes. I went too far. But they got into their quick drag, and, like, I mean, each box had like a blanket and teapot and different things like that. And like Widow made a joke about Heidi not being able to paint her ugly mug, so she got her a mug. They gave Sherry a blanket, and she said, "Oh, it's so heavy." Yeah, like you. You know what I mean? It was cute, a little shady, sort of like a mini reading, the library's open kind of thing. Jackie and Gigi won. I have no idea what the criteria was for her to choose who won. It was edited down so slick that basically all we saw was a different product placement. Child. But whatever reason that Rue picked them, she picked them, and they won some money. Yeah. Okay. So the Maxi Challenge is that they had to create their own commercial with their brand and product placement. You see how I did that? You see how I brought it all the way back around to the product place? Okay. And they had to come up with their own product, and then they had to create their commercial. They had to shoot their own commercial and all that good stuff. They had Bob Harper to come through. He is like this brand ambassador expert, and he helped them with their commercials. And so, you know, the thing is, you start seeing where people, this is the time of the competition where people start getting in their head. Jan is in her head because she can't figure out why she lost last week and what is it that she needs to do to get through to the judges. And her thing is, hell, if I can't win the singing, dancing, acting challenge, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, because that is what I do. Widow was in her head because Rue reminded her Rue reminded her that she hadn't won a challenge since the first challenge, and what has going on with her. And that sort of has been the critique of other reviewers that I watch, that Widow has sort of just disappeared, right? Heidi, when she went to talk to Heidi, the first thing she said was Heidi had come up with this like rejuvenation lotion, and she had come up with this other name, and Rue was like, "You didn't think of like Heidi's hydrating?" And Heidi was like, Rue was like, "Yeah." She said that would be perfect. Baby, as soon as Rue walked away, Heidi put a line through the line, whatever name she had come up with, and she wrote hydrating. And she said, "I guess I'm gonna owe Rue some money for her idea, but oh well." You know, like, but that shows that Heidi's listening and that Heidi can take direction. And you know what I love about it is that Heidi is not so stuck on what she wants. See, what Heidi understands is that this is RuPaul's Drag Race. And if RuPaul says do something, it's probably a good idea to do it. I'm just saying. Except for when she didn't listen to Ru about doing Phaedra for Snatch Game. But I really think that was more about her not knowing who the hell Phaedra was than it was about her not wanting to do what Drew said. I think if she watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta and she knew who Phaedra Parks was, I think she'd have done Phaedra. Because she has shown throughout this competition that she will bend and adjust to what they want. And she did it again when it was time for them to start filming their commercials. She was sort of nervous and she was sort of falling a little flat. But the minute that Bob gave her direction and said, he said, you're funny in between takes. He said, what you're doing in between takes, do it while we're filming. Boom. And the minute he said that, honey, Heidi was on it. And her commercial, of course, was absolutely hilarious. It was definitely on brand. Heidi is funny. She just is. She is absolutely funny. Gigi struggled, and her commercial fell very flat. She definitely struggled. Widow struggled. Her commercial not only fell flat, it wasn't even funny. Like, I don't even see where she was trying to where she tried to insert jokes. Crystal's commercial was really cute, and it was funny because it had this whole throwback 80s vibe to it that to me is so Crystal with that damn mullet, right? And it was really funny. I wasn't sure what Crystal was doing, and when they were filming her commercial, honey, Crystal was all over the place. Even the director didn't know what she was doing, but it came out and it seemed to work out fine. Jan was doing too much. She was cheerleader Jan. Hi, my name's Jan. And the director kept telling her to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down, and she just couldn't. She couldn't bring it down, but I think she couldn't bring it down because she was just really, really trying to overcompensate and get that win. Excuse me. Get the judge's attention and get that win. Like, she really just didn't know how to adjust it. Jackie did really, really good. She had this whole Persian theme. She was doing like the whole I Dream of Jeannie thing, and she did a really, really good job. She had that whole 1960s, you know, that little stop-start thing. If you've ever watched I Dream of Jeannie or Bewitched, where, you know, she would do this with her nose or she would do that with her nose and then something would appear, and the same thing with Jeannie. It was really, really good. Who else? Who we left with? Jay did a really good job too. Jay's was really funny. She showed that she could make fun of herself. She threw a couple of jokes in, and her product was hilarious as well. It was really, really good. They did not even, y'all know how they be editing Sherry, honey. They didn't even show us Sherry's rehearsal. But Sherry's commercial sort of fell flat. And what I thought was interesting was I was really surprised that they showed us Sherry's commercial, right? Because y'all know how they edit her out as much as they can. However, I thought it was real damn shady that they kept her commercial in because why? Because she flopped. Now, if she had blown that commercial out the water, I wonder if we would have seen it. But because she didn't do well in her commercial, they didn't have no problem showing us when she don't do good. I was like, oh, that's a little shady. That's real shady, rude. Now, the runway was Black Wedding. So nobody, I kept waiting for like Widow or even Heidi. I kept waiting for them to kind of do a stereotypical black wedding. Like, I'm glad they didn't. I'm really glad they didn't, but I kept waiting for one of them to do like a whole black girl stereotype thing. I'm so glad they didn't. But a couple of people did do like a morbid type thing. So let's go through the runway. Let's go through the runway. This might be actually a quick review, y'all. Okay. This might be, because my review last week wasn't that long either. Okay. Because, you know, normally my RuPaul reviews be like 25 minutes, but okay. All right. So the guest judge was Chaka Khan, and the minute they announced that Widow about fell out, because Widow is the biggest Chaka Khan, and I think that made it worse as well, because I think she put even more, weight on her, excuse me, y'all, even more weight on her to not flop in front of her idol. So, Jackie Cox, I wrote plain. See, here's the thing. Everybody did a black dress. So your black dress had to be giving me something that the rest of the black dresses weren't giving me. Was it a pretty dress? Yes. Was it memorable? Not so much. But she looked nice. Let me say this. I think this, first of all, this was probably my favorite runway of the season. Second of all, I think everybody looked nice. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? When I say that it was plain, please understand that it was still gorgeous. Her dress was still gorgeous and her makeup was gorgeous. I'm just saying that it just didn't stand out against everybody else because this was probably the best runway. Jan, she had black, I wrote black tulle. Her dress was layers and layers and layers of tulle, honey. Layers of tulle. Layers of tulle, honey. Jada, baby. Jada, if you are watching my review, or if you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, tell Jade that I said, you have not gotten it wrong yet, bitch. Listen. That damn Basketball Wives, I just met my rich husband couture dress that she had on that she probably made in her damn basement. Bitch. Jada. Let's stop playing with me. Gigi did did she say it was a Christian no. Did you say Christian Dior? Oscar de la Renta? She made it, obviously. Her and her mom, of course, made it. But it was an imitation of a very famous designer. I forgot who she said. I think it was Oscar de la Renta. I could be wrong. Because y'all know, I ain't couture. I don't know. But it was pretty. And she had on her little black Louboutins, honey. But I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty, but I still don't think it stood out. I don't want to say it that way. It was pretty and it was nice. I'm not going to say it didn't stand out. It wasn't, I don't know the word I'm looking for right now. Because I'm not going to say it, because it was nice. But like I said, nobody got it wrong. For me, nobody got it wrong on this runway. So, it just didn't give me nothing special. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that makes sense to y'all. Sherry Pie did to me like a whole Bride of Frankenstein thing. She's looked like, she was a Deathly Hallow kind of bride. Heidi, oh my gosh, Heidi's dress was gorgeous. Wasn't crazy about her makeup, but the dress was a gorge, okay? Widow, I loved her eye makeup. She had this black glitter eye, and she had these almost look like black spider things coming from her eyelash. It was beautiful. And then she had the silver dress. It was gorgeous. And she had this headpiece, and when she lifted the veil, it was gorgeous. Do you hear me? Why? Oh, sorry. It was gorgeous. Crystal did she did a dead bride, but hers, it was different from Sherry's. And hers was, because hers wasn't as polished. Sherry was a very polished dead bride. Crystal's was grungy and dirty, and she had the torn gloves. I mean, what she was looking for was, I just crawled up out the coffin and came looking for my husband, dead bride. It was good. Crystal met in her makeup and everything. She went for something different, and she totally committed to it. Even coming down the runway, she was kind of doing the little sticky thingy, Now, as far as the critiques go, guess who got a bad critique and was on the bottom this week? Miss Gigi Good. And baby, she didn't know how to handle it. Oh my gosh, she was backstage during Untucked talking about, oh my gosh, it's so disheartening to be at the bottom. It's just not a good feeling. And Miss Heidi was getting all her life. Heidi said, it's not, is it? Don't feel too good, does it? To get negative critiques from the judges, huh? But she ain't throw it in her face, but she let it be known that the irony was not lost on her, because on the flip side, Heidi got all great critiques. They loved what Heidi did. Jade got great critiques. Heidi got great critiques. Crystal got great critiques. Jada. Gigi, not so much. They liked Jackie Cox as well. Jan was in the bottom. Widow was definitely in the bottom. Sherry Pie was in the bottom. So, of course, RuPaul did her, they always got to do this every season. Who do you think should go home? And everybody said Widow, except for Widow, who, at least she didn't do like Nikki Doll and say it herself. She did say Jan, and she said, I feel like the person who did just as bad as me was Jan. But everybody else did say Widow. Even the people she cool with was like, I really don't want to say Widow. But Widow was like, it's cool. It is what it is. She was very upset, obviously, because, of course, you know, Chaka Khan was her biggest, her biggest idol, and she felt like she failed in front of her. During Untucked, Chaka Khan came backstage, and they had a moment. They had a really nice moment where Chaka Khan took her hand, Chaka Khan talked to her, and you could almost see Widow popping back up. You know what I'm saying? You could almost see Widow getting her mojo back, right? And just as fast as Widow got her mojo back, Jan lost it. And Jan was defeated again before she even started. Widow and Jan ended up having a lip sync for their life. And Jan was saying, well, I mean, you know, Widow's just got this fire in her, and she's the best dancer here, and you know, Chaka Khan is her idol, and she's not going to fail in front of Chaka Khan, and she knows these Chaka Khan songs. Like, you saw her psyching herself out before she even went out there to do the damn lip sync. Then she starts the lip sync, and I knew she was gonna lose the damn lip sync, because immediately what did she start doing? She started fooling with her dress to take stuff off of her dress instead of just fucking singing. Well, on the other hand, Widow was getting her life. You know she knew the damn words. You know she was ready for this moment. Widow was giving me a good old fashioned. You know who her lip sync reminded me of? It reminded me of a good old fashioned Latrice Royale lip sync. Latrice Royale gave you that good old fashioned, I don't have to do no whole lot of death drops, splits, and twirls to get my point across. And she did it. And of course, now, I mean, at a certain point, Widow did take her train off, but it fit the moment. It wasn't rushed. It was very much a part of her presentation. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of it, it was Shantae, you stayed, Widow stayed, and Jan went home. Bye, New York. And I forgot to say that Heidi won. So Heidi won. She got the $5,000. Listen, y'all. She got the $5,000 tip, right? And earlier in the episode, Heidi was saying how she had only made $9,000 last year working at the gas station. So in one day, in a tip, you made more than half of your salary from last year, the whole year. Now, let's be clear, Heidi. You know, and I know you was probably doing shows and you was getting tipped. So you was making a little bit more than $9,000. But still, $9,000 still ain't shit. Like, that's below the poverty level. Like, you couldn't have been full-time. That ain't even full-time. And I know you from West Bumblefuck, North Carolina, and I get it. You was probably making minimum wage, but still, $9,000? Heidi. So I'm very happy for Heidi because, and you know what I hate? Just like with everything else with this Rona, and this is where, okay, I'm going to say this and I'm getting off of here. I hate the fact that these queens cannot fully take advantage of all that comes with being on RuPaul, because this is the time where they should be booked. This is the time where they should be performing, making money, going to Roscoe's and doing all these different things, and they can't. And I feel so bad, especially for people like Aiden and Heidi, who do come from smaller markets, that they now have an opportunity to be in a bigger market and making more money. Anyway, I'm done. I said it. I'm under 20 minutes. Barely, but I am. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.